going on, Nitro gang? Happy Nitro Saturday to all of you out there. Now, you're looking at one of the most winningest buggy chassis ever made. The Kyosho Inferno MP 7.5. Now, there are many models of these things, and I'm going to have to bring this one back to life. We'll do a little bit of investigations, and maybe, just maybe, I will be able to find it in this old RC magazine. But for now, let me say hello to everybody that is here. I appreciate you guys showing up. We got my good buddy No Music RC. How you doing? We got John Hensley, WBL RC Toys. We got Paige Smith. We have Bob's RC in the house, man. What's up? We got Michael Sucha. We got Satan's Rage. And Dolo Brolic. The rest of you guys are going to be showing up. Mini Mechanical RC, always with those awesome suggestions. So I appreciate when the Nitro experts are here in the chat. That means a lot because, listen, bros, one person cannot possibly know everything. Otherwise, how would you explain the current state of world affairs? Obviously, mistakes in world affairs have been made. But my goal here on this channel is to avoid making world-level mistakes. Now, the Kyosho Inferno has had many editions throughout the years, and the World's Edition is one of them. The question is, what is up with this one? Well, all that and a little off-topic conversation, as usual, is about to transpire. Woogie Nitro, what's going on, bro? By the way, guys, you really need to check out Woogie Nitro's most recent video. I actually just watched it for a little bit of motivation before this stream just a little bit ago. Woogie picked up the most sickening Serpent with a proper high RPM Nitro on-road engine. Probably the best of those SRX-8 chassis I have ever seen. So go to Woogie Nitro's channel and tell him we love Serpent. Okay, we got Tara Curry here in the stream. How you doing? Geo Mac 1986 Hall Effect over here with a classic Hall Effect name. Isn't that a term used in amplifiers? I think that's a term used in amplification of audio, the Hall Effect. On this channel, we only make Nitro effects. Thank you, man. We got Boosted RC out here who just fired up the new budget SH21 engine. We got Keith Tolhurst. How you doing? Keith, I gotta watch that video. I know you sent me a video of your brand new gas RC. I gotta watch it and give you a bit of a hell yeah. In fact, maybe, guys, if you want, I could even play Keith Tolhurst's video, but I haven't seen it myself, so I gotta preview it for, you know, ethical reasons. Can't disclose things that I haven't actually checked before. Anyway, guys, I want to say, you have never seen this buggy on the channel before today. And if you have, you got to let me know if you have, because then I'll correct my statement. Listen, can't know everything, but you got to know something. We got... Okay, they're the same people. All right, so we're going to continue a little bit more. Anybody? Oh, Nitro Pimp. That's what I meant to say. Okay, we got Nitro Pimp here in the house. Question is, have you seen this buggy on the channel before? And what engine is that? Because that is one of the greats. That is a proper OS. Mike Molfin, how you doing? Now, I am curious to see if we have this exact buggy in the magazine. So what I'll do, I just want to take a little bit of a look at the index. And bros, we're going to work on this one today. This is, as I said before, Rock Perry. How you doing there, Rock Perry? These models came out in the year 2000. There were many versions of these, so I'm not totally convinced which model this is. It does say Inferno MP 7.5, but the truth is there were many models of the MP 7.5. So good luck digging down which one it's going to be. This one looks like it had a good amount of runtime. It has some rust, but the most important thing is it's also got a great paint job. It has some proper Pro-Line wheels with literally close to, well, okay, so they're pretty much damaged. Oh, yeah, this is trash. This is hella trash. But, you know, whatever. What are you going to do? That's how it is. So I'm going to remove the body in a little bit. We'll take a look at it. I'm curious to see if this magazine has this particular Kyosho. Now, I'm reading right here. It says, the Kyosho Inferno MP 7.5 took 7 of the top 10 places at the 2000 Roar National Championships. So we got 7 out of 10 success rate. That is very, very high. Very high. I'm going to wait a little while to unbody it. But before I do that, let's take a quick look maybe at this mag. I just want to see if we have any of the original listings on this particular Kyosho in the magazine. We go to the magazine index. We'll take a quick look and then we'll take a look at the chassis. And I got to put stuff in. All right, we got Kyosho over here, page 30, 119. There's a lot of pages. We might have to go through page by page. Nitro Brothers, how you doing, man? John Henson goes, Kyosho be making great nitros at all times. That is the truth, man. That is the truth. I'm looking at the Kyosho index, 30 and 119, 136. 30, 119, 136. Okay, so this is not it. Where's page 30? All right, so that's not it. 30, 119. What did I say? We could talk a little bit about the Tamiya TXT1 in a little bit. Bob's RC goes, Kyosho is #1. I've owned every chassis from the MP5 to the new 11. Well, Bob, bro, maybe you could help us identify which model this is going to be in a little bit. Oh, MRC Academy, that's top level stuff right there. We got the Thunder Tigers. Page 119. I'm not going to talk about the stuff that's not relevant to this particular, what did I say, 119? No, here we got the Kyosho on-road cars. I don't know if I'm going to find this Inferno buggy in here, to be honest with you. All right, we got to probably take a little bit more time. I'm just randomly flipping through pages. Probably not a good idea. Oh, we got the Serpent Vectors. This is what you want. All right, I'm going to close this up for a little bit. Jake, how you doing there? Jake, we got Jake's RC place to go. All right. What do you guys say? Do you want to take a look on the inside? Let me do a little swing on this one. So it's got a real properly nice painted shell. It's probably one of the nicest paint jobs I've ever seen. We have the correct looking wheel knuckles. There's no friction. It has a good amount of dirt and rust, but whatever. Some people call that patina. Some people call it dirt. But for me, it's going to be a runner, so we'll see. These shocks, I'm not sure if these are the original shocks, but we'll take a look on it. But the paint job is real nice. And keep in mind, I didn't even really do a good job cleaning it, guys. On the rear end, I mean, obviously we have more rust to follow. We have sway bars. Same looking shock sets there in the back. Mark, how you doing there? Mark, yes, we are back, bro. Yesterday, when you were talking about sticking a proper engine into that Serpent, it got me to digging into some other RCs that I never did videos on. And this is the Kyosho Inferno MP 7.5. I think this is one of the very early versions. It might be a sport model. But let's take the body off. We got about 65 viewers here today. Not sure how many there's gonna be, but I want to ask you all a question. Did you guys see today's short on the Monster GT from yesterday's stream? Like I said, every Nitro on this channel eventually is a runner. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, nobody knows until you fire it up. All right, what I will say, the cutouts on the body are very good. Probably some of the best I've actually seen. Literally not a butcher job. So, this buggy's owner was not a butcher. He might have appreciated a proper filet mignon, but he was not a Nitro butcher. Look at how beautiful these cuts are. Yeah, Rock Perry goes, the fade, the color, the transitions. I mean, it honestly is one of the best paint jobs I've ever seen. Real proper job. I hope the person I got this RC from is watching. But, he does lead a busy life. And that is why I am here to resurrect his creations. By the way, it's nobody here in the stream right now, okay, in case you're wondering who it is. Oh, Hall Effect there is rocking the MP9. That's a proper one. Lee Harris, thank you, man. He goes, the MGT fires right up. Let me see if I can get the MGT fire up video. Just so we all know, and then we'll get down to business. By the way, bros, anybody know which engine that is? Because this is a significantly sickening nitro power plant. Okay, let's remove the body. We'll take a look at the chassis. Careful not to destroy the front end on this thing. Okay, well, bros, we got ourselves an OS Max RG. Yep, this is pretty much the correct engine for the time period, and it would have been a beast back then. These are a little bit on the unique side. RC Adventures, how you doing, my dude? Happy Saturday to you. Congratulations to your newest adventures. You know what I'm talking about. And hell yeah, we all got to move towards a step of becoming debt-free and not owing anyone anything. Because in this life, the only thing you owe is your integrity. Okay, we got the engine. I've obviously done a little bit of work on it already. You can see I have the sealant all over this place. Notice the exhaust. So this model does use a relatively unique exhaust. Depending how you look at it, it's good and bad. These use a rear style mounted rear exhaust, but you need this header. If you guys ever come across these OS RG engines and you see them without the header, think twice. Better yet, think 8 times. Big Boys Toys, how you doing there, man? Milk Hunky, what's going on with the hell yeah over there? Appreciate you. Like I said, if you ever come across these OS RG 21 engines, these were pretty much popular. People would put them in like Savages. Sometimes they were post art ones, mostly in like Buggy, Truggy type of stuff, right? But yes, these headers, you definitely need this header. It's not a regular header. Let me take this out of the chassis. We'll take a look around. So you could tell I've already done a pretty much good amount of work sealing it. I've left the engine mounts on, and I didn't really go crazy on cleaning this or something. We have ourselves a proper OS carb. Preston and Cats, how you doing? We got a 20E carb with all of the needles, and nothing is seized. So I think this is going to be a sickening runner, actually. Correct Kyosho engine mounts. What does that say on the inside? That doesn't matter what it says. All right, so compression seems good. I've already basically... Oh, tight. That is a tight one. That is a tight one. All right, but like I said, these OS RG motors... you're going to be highly limited by this style of exhaust header. If you come across one of these without that header, good luck. It's a very proprietary header. RC Cape Cod, how you doing, man? Let's take a look at the rest of the chassis. I'm going to put this stuff in. It's basically ready to be assembled. There's only a couple main situations here. So on the front, we have the typical Kyosho logo. Let me check the suspension. It's real smooth. I like it. Ain't nothing wrong with the shocks on the front. The way you see it here is the way I got this buggy, everybody. We're missing the servo, so I'm going to have to work on installing the servo. I've already picked one out. And we're missing the air filter. So I've already picked one out. There we go. And here we go. So I'm going to install this. I don't have a receiver currently right now. But, you know, as long as I route the wires okay, it should be fine. I could always get a receiver later. It's still a little bit dirty. I mean, I didn't go crazy cleaning it. Probably should have cleaned it better. I might do a little during the stream. I mostly focused on the engine, to be honest with you. So you could tell the engine is pretty much close to being very clean for one of these. Radio box is okay. I could probably remove the entire box because there's nothing inside anyway. But yeah, this is not the cleanest, but you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. The goal is just to get it to run. In terms of linkages, the linkages are all correct, and there's no binding. I mean, it's pretty much Sinner one. How you doing, bro? Happy Saturday to you. You came just in time, just an angel as well, for my new Nitro reveal, the Kyosho Inferno MP 7.5. If you guys want to take a look, I've done a little bit of research. I am not 100% sure which model this is. So there were a lot of models of these. There were like the Kanai edition. There were the race ones. There were the sport RTR ones. You're pretty much never going to totally know without having the correct body and without having the correct wheels to identify it. So if you guys want, we can take a quick look at the computer and we will see. So could we get a computer hell yeah or hell no? All right, well, we could take a little quickie on it. Okay, so information here. This is the very first model released by Kyosho in 2000, MP 7.5. Right? They're all called the MP 7.5. Rickety Rack, how you doing? Nitro Pim goes, not sure if that is the right exhaust. Well, yeah, it's been modified. It's definitely not the correct exhaust. 100% incorrect, but it's still pretty sickening. All right. Oh, Sinclair 1. RR3, that's right, I remember. RR3 Co. Sickening. All right, so obviously, what do we have of this one? The shocks are not even the same on mine, so I don't know. Only RC, how you doing there, man? Happy Saturday to you. Right here, Inferno, 2000 Roar World Champion. That's what we get to see. Let me go back one over here, and we'll look at the list of all of. So basically, what I'm pointing out is this right here. So there's a pretty much giant chunk of the MP 7.5 models. I am not really sure. Oh, Limited. How you doing? He was Mike the Butcher. I remember my good buddy Mike the Butcher, bro. Everybody say hello. Longtime channel viewer and friend. And he's not an actual butcher. He makes RCs great again. All right. Anyway, there's a huge list of these models. I'm not sure which one mine is. I'm thinking it's probably the sport model. We can take a look at it, but I think it's probably one of these. So they came out with a ton of models, literally within like 2 years of each other. You know, so let's see what we got. I mean, you're not going to get much info on this, so you really have to look at the colors of the shocks type of stuff. You know, I also, who knows if the wing is the original, right? Engine-wise, these would have been Kyosho engines, and these would have been Kyosho exhausts. But on mine, I mean, the shocks are a different color. So usually, the shocks are a good indication of what model you have. Mine are kind of gold and silver. So let's go back one. If I can find one with the gold and silver, I'll be a little sure of what model this is. I don't know if I have the Kanai edition. It's probably not the Kanai. Rock Perry, we got the OS RG, 21RG. So let me go to the last generation, Sports 4. All right, yeah, these are, once again, the blue shocks. I definitely don't have that one. And this is 2009. So I'm just basically going to click every single one until I get those gold shocks. Okay, not it again. The shocks might not even be correct either. Sport 2. No, blue shocks once again. MP 7.5 Sport. Yeah, blue shocks once again. Kanai edition. No. I have a pretty much standard aluminum plate chassis. I definitely don't have all of these countersunk parts. I'm sorry, drilled out, milled parts. I don't have the milled parts. But the shock collars do look correct. Let me go up another one. Let's click this Kanai. All right, maybe it's this one. I'm looking for the shock color. Let me do a little zoom in. Yeah, Sinclair one goes, it could be a 06 or 07 gold shocks. Let's check. We'll try to zoom in on the correct model. It could be this one. You know, don't look at the engine or nothing like that. We're basically looking at the shocks and the interior setup. Also, my springs are not the same color. I'm thinking this is probably close to what it could be based on the color of the shocks in this section. Right, obviously all of this is different on mine. It's hard to tell, really. So it might be an Inferno 7.5 Kanai edition. The body doesn't say, which is a little odd. All right, so Yuchi Kanai won the IFMAR World Championship for a second time with this one. That's pretty sickening, actually. All right, so let's not get bogged down too much with what model this is. It's kind of irrelevant. Now, what matters is each particular Nitro gets its just deserved due. You know, I was going to say the just desserts, but that don't make no sense. By the way, guys, I do want to tell you all to go and watch our great buddy from Canada, JP's RC. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link in the video here. This is JP's RC's brand new X-Ray Buggy. You got to go watch his video. In fact, I'm going to show you a little bit of a clip here, maybe a clip, not a full clip, but just a little bit. So you all know we're not playing around. So go check out our buddy JP's RC. Give him a thumbs up. Check out that sickening Nitro he got. KP, how you doing there, KP? Check it out. That is a proper X-ray. Hell yeah, to our buddy JP. Oh, that was yours? Sickening. I left him a great comment right here, JP. Go leave him a comment. Tell him I'm digging that Nitro. Also, go check out our buddy Joey Nitro's RC. Today, or was it yesterday? Watch the video. It's a pretty great video. He released a follow-up on the Hyper VT. And his plan, well, he got a crazy, sickening plan. He is removing the stock Hyper 30. How you doing there, Jose Velasquez? How you doing, man? Happy Saturday to you. And putting on, I'm going to give you a little quick preview. I don't know if he showed it in this. No, he did show it, but I don't know where it is. He got himself an STS engine. Where is it? Regardless, he's doing a ton of work. Go give our buddy Joey Nitro a hell yeah and watch this video. All right, let's get back to the task at hand. As they say, a task at hand is better than a burgo, than a burrito in a bag. Actually, nobody says that. I'm just a little hungry, so I'm thinking about burritos out here. Oh, Big Boy Soys goes. He's going to be putting the Novarossi in the Kyosho V1R. That's going to be interesting, dude. Those are proper models. All right, so let's get down to business. The first thing I'm going to do, let's, I guess we could put in the air filter on this. So I bought a couple of air filter elements over here. It's pretty clean. All right. Got the original OS filter housing. These things are pretty much proper. They even have an aluminum insert in the middle. I've already cleaned it all pretty good. We got double layer foam filter. I'm going to put one on, see how it fits. You never know how these fits are. It's a little bit on the tight side. Let me slide it up. Appreciate you guys showing up here today. I wasn't going to do a video on this buggy, but, you know, Saturday night hit. And the nitros were howling. You know what I mean? Kind of like, I don't know if this is actually a good fit on this, to be honest with you. This might be a trashola. I might have to get rid of it. Let me see if it'll be a good enough fit or not. It might not be a good fit. That's kind of odd. All right, so this is not going to be a good one. Well, let me see. When I put on the other housing, it might be okay. It's not exactly the right size. Ray Coral, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Channel donation. That is going directly to buying correctly fit size air filters. That's a no-go. So I basically have an option. Could either... Yeah, this has to be removed. All right, how about this? For the time being, I'm going to leave this because it's my only option for now, just to not get dirt in there. But you literally cannot have this. This housing is too long. You need the correct filters. Or you need a different housing completely. All right. Anyway, so I'm going to leave this for now. But not good, not good. That could lead to engine destruction. Thanks, man, Ray Coral, once again. So we're going to have to get completely new filters. This not going to work. I mean, I guess with this outer housing, it's not garbage. It's a little bit better. But like these filters, they really need to fit into the crevices like way better than this. I'm going to leave for now, but I'm going to make a mental note to John Hensley. Thank you, man, for that super chat to the channel. I appreciate it. All going back into RCs. None of it is going to Armas, just so you guys know. 0 Armas. 0, unless they're real cheap. Only way I'll buy an Arma is if I could, well, I don't want to say it, but resell it. And we all had a conversation yesterday about those resellers, huh? You know, we could continue that conversation from yesterday about the resellers. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a sore topic, but I've come up with a couple good agenda items. Northeast, how you doing there, Northeast? Right, bro, so what I'm saying is, be careful with your air filters, because it's actually bad. If you run this in a lot of dirt, you could easily get dirt going in there. You could see that housing is actually pretty much open there on top. But for, you know, purposes of right now, this will do just fine. Okay, this will do just fine for the purposes of now. But yeah, all right, John Hensley goes, good topic. So we can continue the conversation from yesterday while I work on this. And you know what, remove this engine. We'll just do a little bit of cleanup on the chassis. It's kind of dirtier than I expected. I don't remember this thing being that dirty, to be honest with you. I'm a little embarrassed right now. All right, it's Rickety Rack, correct. I didn't want to say their name, but the resellers I'm referring to is the Cash for RC people. And let me say, guys, listen, if at the end of the day, you understand I went to school for finance, economics, accounting, marketing. Listen, if there's a product niche to be filled, someone's going to fill it, right? Could we really disapprove of their practice? To a degree, yes. But listen, if they didn't do it, somebody else would have done it, right? So we can't hate on the people. You got to hate on the process. That's what I'm going to say. Don't hate the messenger. Hate the message. In this case, you know, why do you think it's been hard getting some RC deals around? Well, because there aren't any anymore, right? Unless you get someone that's, well, basically just, you know, totally not adept to internet. And, well, some of us do get deals like that. It does happen. But at the end of the day, I guess you could say some of those models that are, you know, probably 200% overpriced, they will make it back on the road. And really, that is my ultimate goal. So as long as they are meeting the ultimate goal, I'm okay with it, right? But what that means is we're all just going to pay more. That's kind of what it means. You know, you got to really think about, what do middlemen do? Middlemen stand in the middle and raise your cost, right? But once again, these are kind of, you know, normally when you have a bunch of microtransactions, it really doesn't affect the market. And I'm kind of repeating something, you know, some of what I said yesterday. But yeah, Tarakir agrees. So, you know, normally, you know, we all see posts in the Facebook groups, you know, people saying they got things real cheap, which is good, right? You can't control what other people paid. You just can't control it. You have to accept it, and you have to move forward. But the thing is, when these transactions pile up, and we're talking hundreds of RCs in a local area, maybe thousands, I don't know what these numbers are. You know, you're really controlling the local market, which at that point, they can control the eBay market. That's kind of like how scammers work. All right, let me read what Ray Coral goes. He goes, hey, I bought a lot of the electric RCs and Nitro Buggies. I kept the 2 I liked and sold the 5 or 6 I didn't on eBay. That's right, and they paid for those purchases. Well, you are correct. But once again, those are microtransactions, meaning you can possibly only do a couple of those a month. Even if you did a good job, you would probably be only able to do a couple transactions a month, right? At best. You get one bad feedback and kind of your account is toast, really. But the reason prices overall are skyrocketing is because we have massive, massive purchases that really the resellers, right? They're in it for profit. That's what they're in it for. Which, that could be said about stores, that could be said about gas stations. And truth is, we all complain about gas prices, right? Or whatever the case we complain about. Let's say groceries at the store, I don't know, Cheerios goes up. Who cares? Steak is like, basically unaffordable at this point. Well, those stores are in there for the sole purpose of making profit. But we can't live without them, right? Kind of the same thing. If you guys want, I could even take a look at a couple of the Cash for RC auctions on eBay. But once again, I don't want to put down those guys. They're doing nothing different than what other people do. But the thing is, it's about the scale of doing it, right? When you do something on such a grand scale, ethics begins to play a role, I will say. These mods, how you doing? Lasso Kids, how you doing? He goes, what engine we got in this? So I already had an engine, bro. We got the OSRG21. These were pretty popular engines at the time. In fact, in a lot of the old RC magazines, you will see reviews on these engines, and they're pretty much dope. The one kind of downside I think these have, and maybe some people here know, just a little bit dusty, right? I think these are the Nikasil coated sleeves. I don't think these are, in fact, the ABC. I think they're Nikasil, which is a cheaper, softer coating material. Nikasil is kind of between ABN and ABC. But, yeah, Cash for RC, listen, they're going to do what any of us would do, but the problem is it's such a mass scale that it really begins to open itself up for, let's say, discussion, right? I'm not going to say it's good or bad. It opens itself up for discussion, is what I'll say. Make sense? I think that's a logical statement. Okay, so I'm not going to go too crazy clean. It's basically just dirt and whatever. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to put in the servo. I don't have electronics, really, radio gear for it right now. But I checked the rest of it. The fuel lines are good. Oh, White Boy, how you doing there, man? Thank you for being a long-time channel member. White Boy, tell us your experience with Cash for RC. I mean, I got nothing bad to say about him. At the end of the day, nobody is forced to buy anything. You could list, you could not list. It's up to you. Graham Mout, how you doing there? He goes, have you ever tried those superchargers on a Traxxas 3.3? Well, good question, Graham. Good question, Graham. So the truth is about those Robinson, the question in the chat, I'll read it out loud once again. Question is regarding trying those Robinson Racing Superchargers. So the thing is, they don't really do anything for nitro engines because the principle of, the air-fuel ratio being put into the engine, it's not the same as, let's say, a four-stroke engine, right? The two strokes don't rely on forced induction, really, at that level. They just don't rely on a supercharger type of thing. That's why turbos really don't do anything here. You don't see any nitro turbos, right? Because really the two-stroke engine principle is completely different. They really rely on the back pressure from the tank, which I forgot what the term is called. It's not a reed valve. Larger engines have reed systems, but they don't rely on any kind of supercharger or any of that sort. All right, let me read what White Boy said. Thank you for being a long-time channel member as well, bro. He goes, the only thing, the body got damaged from the shipping. All right, that's pretty good. And they gave you pretty good customer service. They asked you for a refund, yeah. I mean, with the body shipping, you're not going to, you're basically taking a gamble. That is true. Yeah, Lasso Kid goes, but that four-stroke nitro you got would take full advantage of a supercharger. That is correct. Yes, if you had four strokes, then obviously, yeah, you would have an advantage of a supercharger. But yeah, the thing is, those supercharger systems, if you guys want, I could like Google something right now and we could pull it up. We could take a look at it. I bet a lot of people don't know on it. Let's see. Robinson Racing Supercharger. The kits are fairly expensive. Let me see if I can pull up some products here. I don't. Do they still make them right now? It doesn't look like they even make them. Supercharger, Nitro Supercharger is it called? Oh, oh yeah, I got the wrong brand name. It's RB Innovations. Correct. Thank you, man. RB Innovations. Got the wrong name. All right, I'm gonna go to their site. I mean, it's a very complicated kit with supercharger. Let me just see. We'll take a look at the Traxxas stuff. Compatible with Traxxas. All right. So if you guys want, we can take a quick lookie at it. All right. So this is the current Robinson RB Innovations website. I'm looking at, let's say, I mean, they're fairly inexpensive. RB Innovations compatible with Traxxas brand 3.3 and 2.5. Well, let's take a look at this one. I mean, they're pretty cheap. I don't know if this kit includes everything you need because that seems kind of cheaper. I was under the impression these were like $300. But realistically speaking, let's take a look at some of the pictures. Let's see, they don't let me zoom in on the pictures. All right, so this is kind of like the setup over here. It is. You're talking about a lot of extra stuff. You know what I mean? So basically, it looks like this is a 2.5. You have bracketry using the engine mounts. Let me zoom in more. You have bracketry using the engine mounts. And this is the main supercharger system up here. And you have what appears to be the world's thinnest O-ring going around what appears to be a custom flywheel. So it's basically a lot of custom work that, as you would expect, would add a lot of complexity. Michael Sucha, thank you, man. Let's take a look at some other pictures maybe from the side. All right, so this is the installation of that supercharger on the T-Max. I mean, it's a lot of extra stuff. So me personally, from my experience, these have not done anything. All right, this is a proper T-Max right here. This is a view of it from the side. So it's a lot of extra bracketry and custom clutch bell. I was stand corrected, not the fly with the custom clutch bell. Yeah, Nitro Pimgo is not for him, and I pretty much agree. Let's see what the information says about it. After 20 years, the Nitro Supercharger is still the ultimate upgrade. This patent-pending compact design utilizes lightweight construction. This is basically bullshit. It's not really telling us much about anything. Let's see. The Supercharger offers an optional auxiliary pressure output port for boosting fuel pressure. All right, so all of this is basically saying it's lightweight. That's as good as knowing nothing. Lightweight. Okay, lightweight. So is someone's foot in your ass, you know, depending sometimes. Yeah, Mad goes, it's a rubber band. It's basically a really thin O-ring. And you're relying on that O-ring, essentially, is what you're doing. Basically, that's all it is. You're using your engine power, right, from your clutch belt to drive an impeller. I've seen inside these units, it's basically just an impeller. Nothing really that crazy. I don't really care about it. Let's check out some other information. Let's see what they got for the fit scale. Fit scale supercharger system. Let's see. I mean, once again, anything that works on a reed valve system, that's a two-stroke, this is going to be useless. Yeah. This is more of a cool design, but in terms of actual usability, it's close to -5. All right, let's go back to the car. But proper question right there. I appreciate those proper questions. We should all take a look at things that we don't all know too much about. But every now and then, you know, somebody I notice will post in the groups about the RB Supercharger, and there's always pretty much a hot debate on it. But the truth is, the two strokes really benefit more from a proper tune than they would from forced induction, I would say. Okay. Let's get to engine. No, I'm sorry, servo installation. What do you guys want me to do? You want me to put the engine in or the servo first? Let's probably do the servo first. All right, so I already have the servo mounts at the bottom over there. All right, Bob's RC goes, it's mostly the issue with the intake and exhaust ports opening at the same time. That is correct too, yes. Might have underanalyzed the issue. But truth is, if, let's say for motorsport racing, right? Let's say like dirt bike racing, stuff like that. If those superchargers did anything, don't you think they would use them in like off-road motorsport racing type of stuff? Like, but they don't use them, right? So there you go. Although that's not always a perfect example, but it's a bit of an example. Anyways, on to this particular beast right here. All right, so we got the 20 kg servo. It appears that it has to be installed this way. Yeah, Bob's RC goes, they also have the nitrous oxide kits. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of the stuff in our hobby, guys, it basically comes down to replicating systems that exist in real cars. It doesn't 100% mean that it's going to be effective, right? Like, that's one of those things. You're going for a lot of, I mean, just take a look at the Armor Gang. They're replicating trash on a daily basis, you know? But hey, they get away with it. So is RB Innovations. By the way, as I said before, if you guys want me to take a quick look at the Cash for RC resellers on eBay, I could do it. But like I said, you know, I don't want to cause them any undue harm because at the end of the day, they're only doing what the market allows them to do. And I can't hate on a company for doing that. Right? Can't do it. So this is, yeah, this looks like it has to be completely disassembled. It's going to be an annoying, painstaking activity getting these things in. Maxwell, how you doing? He goes with a 2-speed baby. So what do you guys say? If we get a couple viewers here, thank you, man, with that Japanese username. I wish I could say it, but I don't know how to say it. But you the man. Always supporting the channel. If you guys want me to take a look at the Cash for RC eBay page, we could take a look at it. But yeah, Ray Coral goes, yes, like you mentioned, Hybrid, you have the option of not buying. Exactly, bro. As a business, their option is to put it up for sale. And as a customer, your choice is to say yes or no. So can't hate on them for doing that, right? Truth is, sometimes people just need that money. I mean, I'd rather give them money and get some RCs myself, but can't hate on them for doing it. So if you guys want, while I have this thing here, I could open up the Cash for RC website, actually. Well, just an eBay account. It's not a website. But I think they have a website. I don't know. Yeah, John Hensley agrees. Let's see. I opened up a couple links before, so it's in my history. They roast people. They could roast me. I don't care. What's there to roast? Good luck roasting me. Roast me. What do you want to do? You want to come check out my 2004 Lincoln LS V8? It's in the driveway right now. Good luck starting it. I got only one key and nobody getting it. Nobody getting that key. Good luck. I'm not afraid of a roast. Do a roast. I don't even over roast my coffee beans, okay? That's the truth right there. I under roast them. Give me a second. I'm just loading it. All right. Well, it's just basically one of the listings I found so far. I mean, you know, once again, it's a lot of vintage stuff, so it depends how badly you want stuff, right? All right. This is just one auction so far, but we'll take a look at it. All right, so this is just one item. I mean, this is a real big, real giant reseller. They have very good feedback, and they have a lot of sales. So I can't hate on them for doing that. This is just one item I had saved. Why? Because, you know, Duratrax. You never need to explain a Duratrax reason to anybody. Just say to yourself, why? Because Duratrax. Okay, that's right, Jester Angel. That's right. All right, so this is you know, one of those Super Tiger engines from the Warhead or the RTX 27. To me, this is literally junk, but doesn't mean it's junk to everybody, right? So based on the design of this engine, obviously it's dirty, but the cooling head is in good condition. It does have maybe a crack right there in the fin. But, you know, if you need something, if you need like the engine mounts, you need the clutch belt, you need the flywheel, I mean, listen, $80 with free shipping, it's actually not that bad. Like, people sell engines for that sometimes. The only real bad thing is you have no backplate. So, I mean, whatever, it's okay. Yeah. Ronnie RC, yeah, man, it's pretty much, you know, if you need it, you need it. There's nothing wrong with that. The carb is probably fine. All right. Let's take a look at some of their other stuff, sellers' other items. You know, we're just examining it from a buyer's point of view. What I'm doing now, and if they want to come back and, you know, whatever, go ahead. All I'm doing right now is examining what is public information. That's what do you guys want me to search for? Tell me what to search for. I'm literally just examining public information. That's all I'm doing. You post, my job is to look. Guess we could look at this engine. It's not too bad. You want me to search for any brand names? All right, let's do Losi Nitro. Losi Nitro. All right, so we got 5 results for Losi Nitro. I'm going to pick a couple of these. Let's see what we got. So these bottom ones I don't care about really at all. We got, let's take a look at this particular Losi 8 Nitro Buggy. All right, so 264. I mean, it comes with a body. It's not, this is not a terrible deal. Yeah. Lasso Kid, I love math. Math, number 1. Let's talk about the sine curve. Sigma. In fact, you dare me to go get my Texas Instruments graphing calculator? Let me go get it. Where's my calculator? No, my Texas Instruments calculator. Right, bros, can't find it, okay? It's probably needs batteries. All right, let's continue. Got about 83 viewers here. I had one of these. It's honestly one of the best driving buggies ever. It's pretty dope. I did like it. But these were like real cheap models. In fact, take a look at this. Hold on a second. Take a look at this. TI-83, I meant TI-83, my bad. I still have, damn, that is the Dynamite 28 engine from that buggy, isn't it, guys? With the fuel tank. That is exactly it. So those buggies were real good, but keep in mind, they were like $300 buggies when they were new, you know? Maybe $350 they went up after. But this from the Losi Truggy, from the Truggy, not the buggy, it's from the Truggy. But these engines are real good, too bad they're discontinued. Anyways, let's continue back with our understanding. By the way, guys, can I get a hell yeah for Hybrid over here not being afraid to review things like this publicly, because as I said, I always stand for the freedom of information. I stand for your right of free speech, and if it's public, I'm gonna talk about it. So yeah, these models not bad actually. They're pretty dope. Keep in mind the body alone when these were new, Losi was like literally selling these for like $80. Ray Coral, that's right. Losi were selling these bodies alone brand new for like $80 to $90. So like the bodies alone are like hella expensive. Paige Smith, thank you, man. I mean, it's, you know, you have no engine, okay, but these are pretty solid buggies. Would I buy it? For me, no, I would not buy it. But that doesn't mean other people ain't gonna buy it, right? Like just because I don't buy it, don't mean nothing. I'm just one person. All right, let's go back to. You guys want me to look another item? I think John Hensley said Duratrax, right? Let's look up Duratrax. Just because Duratrax is easier to make fun of. Okay. We got the Warhead electroconverted. I mean, you got a lot of parts on there, right? So, if I see anything interesting here, I'll stop and look. But so far, I don't. I mean, these are pretty average, you know. But keep in mind, they're including shipping. It's not terrible. You know, I mean, it's not good. I mean, I wouldn't buy it. But, you know, if you need one of these, John Hansley, thank you, man. Appreciate that. He goes, hell yeah, for hybrid. Appreciate that, bro. All right, let's continue. I mean, these are pretty okay prices for used tires. It's not that bad. Plus, it's free shipping. It's not bad. Right? Would I buy it? No. But someone else might. Let's do another search. What do you guys want me to search for? Nitro something? Or just do a search for Nitro. All right, so we got 120 results. We got this OFNA Buggy slider and a Revo slider. I guess we could take a look at the Revo. Pick one you want me to take a look at. I mean, listen. We could take a look at it. So, truth be told, yes, you can make money doing this if you buy it cheap enough. Figure free shipping. Shipping this is going to cost like probably $20 on the commercial rate. Probably, you know, if you get like proper shipping. Probably $20, ship it in America somewhere. But also, you know, they're going to pay like a 14 to 15% fee. So figure they'll clear after the shipping and that they'll probably clear 150, right? I would say their total would be about 150. I mean, this stuff is kind of worthless, really. But the Revo itself, I mean, it has no engine, right? Because the engine was probably toast. So you're getting a chassis, you're getting drivetrain, you're getting, you know, wheel hubs, you're getting a fuel tank. And this is the old generation of the Revo. So, I mean, let's say you were going to buy this part-wise. Obviously, it depends. It depends. Yeah, but this body's pretty much toast in the back right there already. I don't like when they do that. All this stuff is basically kind of half worthless. But if you need a spur gear, I mean, it's better to just buy a spur gear, right? Let me see. Let me check out the rest. What do we got? We got a green painted cooling head. That's something you don't want to do. You don't want to do that at all. We got vintage SMT. I don't care about that. We got a Phantom 15. I mean, it's pretty average. I mean, it's missing basically everything you need. Let's take a look at the OFNA Buggy, maybe. All right, let's take a look at the OFNA Buggy. All right, so we got ourselves 240. Let me do a zoom in. Big Boys Toys, thank you, man. Yep, mental illness of any kind is a problem, you know. But luckily today we live in a world of help, is what I'm going to say. Help could have multiple types of, let's say, ways. But at the end of the day, the best help you can get is keeping yourself occupied and being friends with positive people. I'm going to tell you that right now, guys. You know how some people form into, let's say, bad addictions, bad lifestyles. That's because humanity is basically a social species. When you're a social species, you do and you emulate. No matter how much you think you're not doing it, you want to be like the people that you're with. And that's the truth right there, right? You know the saying? What is that saying? When someone in your, you got to meet the Jetsons? No. With your neighbors, something with the, drink the Foster's beer? No, I made that up. But anyways, Ben, how you doing here, bro? Once again, shout out to Big Boys Toys, who makes Nitros great again, and is always a positive dude in the chat, so appreciate that. All right, we're taking a look at the Cash for RC stuff. This is just one of the RCs they got. It's an OFNA with a non-original, pretty much trash body. Looks like some kind of ECX body or something. Jorge, how you doing there, Jorge? To me, this is like an $80 car, to me. But, you know, I also have a bunch of these. So, to me, it's not really worth much. But to other people, it might be. Well, we have a Traxxas Servo. I mean, it's 2056, which means it's the lowest of the lowest. Bumper's trashed. No engine. Wing from something crazy. I mean, I don't see any real value in this model. Like, close to any. I mean, engine mounts, maybe. Maybe. Let's go back one. Right? So 244, we're taking a look at this eBay auction. That's kind of what we're doing now. I'm going to close this up. I don't really see any value in this. They probably paid, I don't know how much, but it's not up to me to discuss how much they paid. That's something that, you know, is between them. All right, let's take a look at this engine, because engines is something I know something about at least. All right, so we got ourselves, yeah, Nitro Pim goes, it's a parts car. Yeah, to me, that's like a $78, maybe $80 parts car at best, right? Let's say you need diffs. I mean, you could use that car. All right, so we got $140. It says good compression. Let me click on this one. So this is the Axial engine. The first generation Axial 28. I have a couple of these. They're very, very good engines. Very good. I could tell it came out of a Savage because that is the Savage type of front mount for the clutch bell, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? So these are pretty okay. Problem is, Rotostart seems to be good. That's like a good quality one. Oh, John Hensley, yes, tomorrow we'll have a new video with a new intro song. It's not a full song, but it's part of it. So this header, and you guys could chime in here. I appreciate your comments, by the way. Yeah, this is one of those two-piece headers. Basically, you need the correct pipe to match it. So this header is useless. This is not like the one that you use a coupler on, right? Let's silicone coupler. Harlem, how you doing there, Harlem? We're just taking a look at some of the available auctions on eBay. You know, we're discussing resellers. And, you know, I do want to reiterate again, no hate of any kind on a reseller. They are there to meet product demand. And that's all. That's the function they fulfill. Right? It's up to us to say yes or no. All right. But carb is pretty valuable on this. It probably has a good clutch inside. The exhaust header is probably the reason I would not buy this ever. Right? The other reason is you can get a brand new SH for way cheaper than this. In fact, let me check right now. In the video that we are on, right? So this is our live stream. I put in a link. If you want to get the SH, I would highly recommend you just get this exact SH. I've talked about it many times. So trust me, guys, a new engine is better than a used engine like that. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Those engines, they have bad one-way bearings over time. I'm telling you, click the link, get this engine. All right, let's go back to eBay with this Axial. Cooling head has minor scuffs. I mean, it'll be a runner. I'm convinced it'll be a runner. It's not garbage, but it's not 100. How much they want for it? It's not $140 engine, right? Like to me, these basically cost brand new $140. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think about that? All right, let's go back to the Nitro listings. We'll take a look at maybe one more. Oh, we got the Jammin' X1. I think our good friend Nitro Pump here might have a little bit of input on the X1, right? I think you might. Let's take a look at this Jammin' X1. So we have Buggy with the used body. Let's take a look at some of the pictures. So, you know, these were like good models back in the day. They're still not bad. The shocks are, these usually have good shocks. The wheels suck. The body is I would say usable. It's like a basher body. You know, someone took care of it to a pretty much average degree, I would say. The wheels, I'm not sure if these are original, but regardless, it doesn't really matter. The important thing is, you know, when you're looking at something like this, the important thing is the linkages are here. So the linkages are not missing. Let me zoom in. I don't know if you guys could see that well. All right, I zoomed in. Let's go back again. The important thing is linkages are here. You don't really want to get into, like, you know, making linkages and stuff like that. Boosted, appreciate that. Body is average. These are pretty good quality shocks. You can see these little holes right there on the shock cap. Those are self-bleeding shocks is what it means. Important thing, fuel engine mounts are here, right? So you definitely don't want to be getting engine mounts, so you have them. And the wing is fine. I mean, there's really not much else I could say about it. So let's take a look at maybe one more, guys. You tell me what you want me to take a look at. We have a Nitro Rush. I know a viewer just said in the chat before. Oh, look at that. We have a 2.5. I mean, you want me to take a look at something crazy? I don't know. Let's see. OFNA Violator. Traxxas Fortec rolling chassis. Let's take a look at the Savage. All right, so $199, free shipping. Let's take a quick detailed look. The body is normal. It has some major scuffs over here. I will say the way they're taking a picture makes it look better than it actually is. It's like some kind of flushed out white background filter. All right. The wheel nuts are apparently broken off with the axles inside. That is actually quite garbage. Oh, Mad Car already got a free 2.5 today. Hell yeah, man. All right, so the body is, it's a basher body. It's usable. I mean, there's nothing majorly wrong with it. All right, Paige Smith wants me to look up an OFNA LD3. I'll take a look at it in a second, bro. Promise. All right, so the shocks are here. This is like the early generation. It could have been a Savage 25. Yeah, this is a Savage 25 because I could tell it has the old style chassis and the twin thin shocks. What's up, All Aspects? How you doing? We're taking a look at some of the Cash for RC reseller stuff. I mean, so far, honestly, the deals, if you need these cars, they're not garbage. I will tell you, you know, they have to pay fees and they're paying shipping. So it's not bad. On this side, we're missing the exhaust. We're missing, it looks like the battery box cover, which on these Savages is basically gold. Yeah. Good luck getting one of these battery box covers on the old style Savage. And the wheel hubs are broken. So, I mean, would I buy this for $200? Definitely not. But, you know, maybe somebody that doesn't want to look, they'll easily go on eBay and take a look, right? I mean, that's all I think is going to happen. So we got a request to look at OFNA LD3. Let's see if we got anything. This is Hybrid doing first-hand primary research. No, we got nothing. Let's look up OFNA Nitro. Jester Ranger goes the Losi LST battery holder. Yeah, pretty much exactly correct. On the LST, you just have to relocate it. I think I already did a search for this. Yeah, a lot of these are just basically junk buggies. But, you know, if you clean them up, you could pretty much restore anything. So, let's not get too crazy on it. Let's take a look at this engine, actually. Curious to see what we got. So, it's a Force 3.5, $150 with OFNA 25 head. So it's basically an OFNA 25. All right. It looks pretty okay. The bottom looks normal. It looks close to being new. Just like very old, but close to being new. All right. Carb looks to be in normal condition. It looks clean. Yeah, it's close to being new. Would I buy this? No. Would I buy that SH28? Yes. Also, I could tell. So normally these pull starters right there, there's supposed to be a little bit of a fuel line in there to protect it from shock, from the recoil. Hi, Pyro Tony, how you doing there, bro? So when you're running this and this thing shuts off, it might rip the pull start cord completely. That's why normally when you see engines, they have a bit of a rubber fuel line. Let me show you what I mean. Well, rubber is not the correct term. For instance, this SH, right? Notice it has a flexible part here at the end, right? Because when it recoils, it slams back pretty violently. And you need to have a little bit of recoil there, or else it's going to be toast. All right, let's get back to the Buggy. But, like I said, if they had no market, then they wouldn't be doing it. So, that's all there is to it. All right, I'm going to install this at this point. Actually, installing these servos is literally my least favorite thing ever. Appreciate you guys for joining. You know, these old cars, sometimes you need two to make one run. It ain't that crazy. Rock Perry, thank you, man, for that super chat. He goes, here's to health, wealth, and many nitros. Appreciate that, bro. I added the word many myself, but I know you meant it. So thank you, man, from Rock Perry Jr. Rock Perry, tell us what you're working on right now, or will be working on, because, you know, you could have a plan, bro. You could have a plan. But, you know, I try to, in my analysis of these resellers, I try to have an open mind. I mean, nothing I said is extremely bad. You know, they're using the open marketplace, and that's fine. Michael Sucha, it sounds like you need to work on a T-Max right now. I heard when you're drinking some Nitro, you can make T-Maxes great again even faster. Kidding around, bro. Michael Sucha, happy to have you here. Where's my other screw? I lost the screw. All right, let me put this in, and then we're going to get the engine in. Man, I wonder how much cash 4RC would want for this Nitro. Probably a fortune. I probably wouldn't even be able to afford it. But I'm not a reseller, guys, and that's okay. But the ones that are, that's okay too. I mean, I don't particularly like it, but that's not my goal, right? That's like saying Coca-Cola is bad because they're reselling you cola at a profit. You know, you can't do that. That's not logical. Man, this is the worst part ever. I think I'm gonna have to remove this. You know what? Let's remove this whole upper deck. I think I'm gonna have to remove this upper deck to get it in, bros. Because it's gonna be difficult to install this. That's what it seems like. You all agree with me? I mean, the Cash 4RC people, you know, they post all over. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You know, they're out there drumming up business for themselves. And that's fine. You know, if we hate on them, then that's technically like hating on hobby stores, right? So we can't be doing that either. Oh, much better. Look at that. Job well done. Yep, Jester Angel, I'm going to read that. He goes, I was a mechanic for 29 years. You don't have to rip people off to do business. Correct. Unfortunately, costs all around have just skyrocketed so much that it's really hard to say what you do have to do anymore. All right, that screw is a little stripped. Yeah, Jake Sarcipe says it's better to remove the deck. I might be able to get it in like this. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to be able to wrangle it in there, just like the Jeep Wrangler. Question is, why is the Jeep Wrangler such a bad car? That's the ultimate, I think, the ultimate claim. You know, I kind of want a Wrangler. Why? Because they look old even when they're new. And they look new even when they're old. Get it? Damn it. It's not easy, yeah. Might have to remove this. I'm going to try to wrangle it in there. Damn it. It's a little bit annoying here, guys. I'm going to do it from this side. Yeah, Ray Coral, Nissan or Toyota, hell yeah. But the thing is, you can get yourself a real cheap Jeep Wrangler that looks almost new for like $4 grand. Why? Because they're all bad. You know, it's a cost analysis. It's a cost thing for me. When I say bad, I mean unreliable, low resale value, bad at basically everything other than looking kind of cool. You know, obviously you can't compare them to like a Japanese product, right? Because that's not what Jeeps are going for. So all aspects, loved his Wagoneer. What year Wagoneer, dude? Tell us. All right, this is going to be a problem. We have to get a little crazy on this one. All right, I'm going to have to remove the body. I mean, the bottom portion. This screw right there is not letting me remove the upper deck. Yeah, Pyro Tony goes, why do people put ducks in all the Jeeps? I think it's one of those things where you know, because I guess the Jeeps can go certain places that regular cars can't, obviously, because, you know, well, you know, it's a more capable vehicle. And I guess if you find the ducks, you've been somewhere where no one else has been. It's like a stupid Jeep thing. It's a stupid Jeep thing, bro. I know what you're talking about. It's one of those stupid Jeep things. All right, I'm going to get it this time. The reason I'm having a hard time is because I'm doing it on video so you guys could see what I'm doing. But I'm also missing all the holes. That's it. Hybrid getting angry over here. That's it, Buggy. I'm playing around. It's this damn one of the screws is stuck. That's why I can't remove it. The thing is, guys, I'm doing my best to not have vibrations. So I'm gonna have to fling this thing off the table. All right. Finally got it. There we go. It's going to be easy now. Let me clean up the upper deck. Not a bad idea to clean it before I put the stuff in. Jack Daniels with a hell yeah for us. That's some proper stuff. I would say out of all of them, that's the one I would choose. Just clean this up a little bit. Probably not a bad idea. I didn't clean this up before the stream because, you know, Cash for RC doesn't clean up things, and neither did I. Playing around, guys. Don't hate on them. They're not doing anything different that none of us wouldn't do. Well, I wouldn't do it because you haven't seen me do it, right? So I guess I'm actually the winner in this one. Boosted, tell us about the new SH21 engine you got from A-Main after you picked it up from the post. It's sickening. I'm not gonna go too crazy clean. This thing is gonna be a runner, so I don't really care that much. Booster RC goes, she purring like a kitten. Gonna run it tomorrow. Yeah, let us know, bro. So if you guys wanna, I'll give you guys the update. Boosted RC, our good friend here, bought that SH21, the cheap one, that one that was like 95 bucks. Stuck it in a Savage. We're gonna find out. Man, come on, Servo. Believe it or not, my goal today was to install the engine. Okay, well, it's going in. Got one. Let's get the second screw. Lasso Kid, how you doing? He goes, good question. He goes, do you guys have any input on how to prevent traction rolling? So I'm assuming you're talking about when you're turning and it just flips. Is that what you're talking about? Like when you make it a turn and it flips? Lasso Kid, is that what you're saying? You're making a turn and you got a flip job. Okay. I mean, basically, it comes down to a lot of it. Tell us what car. A lot of it comes down to the sidewall. In my experience, it's the sidewall. So proper tires like this, notice the sidewall isn't really that aggressive on this side. So, you know, a lot of times, let's say short course trucks, like the Slashes, right? They're made for dirt. If you're running them on like pavement, the sidewall, it's gonna dig in and it's basically gonna catch and it's gonna flip. That's basically what it's gonna come down to. Sidewall. Also, you know, lowering it can help a little bit. Well, one of the reasons the Nitro Slashes roll so well, I don't mean Nitro Slashes, but the, you know, let's say the short course trucks roll so crazy, it's because they have real aggressive sidewall tread with very little deflection. Max Buggy, how you doing, man? He goes, shout out for the motivation. Appreciate you, bro. By the way, guys, I want to announce, if anybody here could help out our good channel member, viewer, and friend, John Hensley, he just picked up a mini Sportworks Chaos. It's a small little one, and he has one issue. It needs a crankshaft. Anybody got a crankshaft? We would appreciate that. Got a whole Nitro, and the damn crankshaft is busted. Can't believe it. It's actually pretty rare because it's in quite normal condition. I mean, it's honestly not that easy to destroy a crankshaft, so. Come on. Damn. Why is this giving me a hard time? All right, finally. Finally. Whoa. All right. Just gonna assemble this back. It's basically fine. All right, I'll tighten up the servo later on because we need to do wiring later anyway. Okay, here we go. All right, let me tighten this up and we will move forward. All right, it's going in. So far, so good. We got the servo in, and I'm going to move on to the engine. But I got to tell you, I do like the old school Kyosho buggies. You know, there are multiple popular buggies from this generation, obviously, and the OFNA ones, in my opinion, they're a little bit heavier than the Kyosho ones. I do like the drive of the Kyosho. To me, they seem to be a little more like the Losis in their drivetrain. Well, not drivetrain, in the drive rather. Meaning a little bit lighter on their feet. The OFNAs, they're like tanks. All right, that's pretty good. I'm going to adjust the rest of it later. We got the 20 kg servo in. The rest I'll do later on. All right, on to engines. All right, so I went over this engine. It's the OSRG. I actually think, yeah, Rusty RC goes, the Kyoshos carried the torch in this segment. I will tell you, they are just a better low center of gravity chassis. The OFNAs, I like them, but they're a little bit more on the, they're real tough, like real tough. But the Kyoshos, I think they're designed to a point where they're light enough and they're strong enough. But I would say the OFNAs are a little tighter. They're a little tougher. I might have an OFNA I could actually show, but we'll see. Let me get the wheels on a little bit. These are probably junk by now. So I'll obviously need new wheels, but for now, you know, just to have it here on the table, it'll be fine. So these, at one time, these were real proper wheels. We have 17mm hubs. Are these tires reversed? This is this way. This is the other side. Oh, no, it's this one. Okay, it's this tire. Okay. Yeah, Kyosho, I mean, honestly, when you run a Kyosho, even though, like, you know, on paper, it looks very generic. But they do handle, I would say, better. And there's a reason why they won all those championships. Yeah, this one's dirty. I don't really care that much about it. The goal is to just to get it to be a runner. I could always clean it off later. Once I have a little motivation during a clean job. But you see, Kyosho is relatively tough where it counts. They have real thick drive shafts, so they are tough where it counts. If you guys want, I could pick up a similar generation OFNA for our viewership pleasure, and we could take a look at it. Let me just get the engine in real quick. Okay. Engine time. All right, so I put the screws over here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Like I always say, without the viewers, I would be a guy with no viewers. But still a person with many, many nitros, bros. Just don't forget about that part. All right, I'll adjust the throttle, trim, all that stuff later on. It's all gonna have to be reset anyway. This is the world's not most efficient exhaust hanger. All right. I'll check the fuel lines later. This is just for temporary use. All right. I'll adjust that better later. Let's see. Why is it not going in that well? Okay. There's something with this pipe hanger. It's not good. Okay. All right, here we go. I mean, you know, it's pretty. This is pretty much a low frills car based on modern standards. But yeah, back in the day, this would have been a proper chassis. Satan's Rage, how you doing? He goes, what engine size is this? This is a OS 21 RG. Real popular engine for the time period. Real popular. You could hardly find like good ones anymore. Let's check where we're at. All right. Look at that. First installation and the gear self-sets. That's sickening. Self-aligning. I'm kidding around. It's not self-aligning. I just got lucky. I'm going to tighten this, and then I'll recheck again. Makes a little bit of noise. Ah, it looks okay. Yeah, it's metal. That's how it's supposed to be. It's a little noisy. I don't know why it's a little noisy, but the gear mesh seems normal to me. All right, I'm going to leave this for now like this. There's really not much else I could do on this. I need to get the electronics, and then I'll set up the steering system. Let me go pull out, if you guys want, I could pull out a OFNA Buggy from this generation. Not the Hyper 7. Behind it is the Hyper 7. That's a proper buggy. We're not pulling that one out. I want to pull out something on a cheaper scale. Maxwell goes, is the .21 considered a big block? So, Maxwell, I'm glad you asked. How about, before I do that, I'm going to show a couple engines. Okay, in terms of block sizes, it basically comes down to this. Let me realign the view. All right. So you're looking head on two engines. This is called a small block. This is called, actually, this is not a good example. This is a small. Let me get another one. Here we go. We got an example for the ages right here, baby. Now that's an example. Take a look at that. So we got a small block and a big block. This is one of my best OS Max VZ Spec 3. Why did I say V-Spec? I meant V-Spec. All right. So small blocks, basically how you know, they're obviously way smaller. But basically it comes down to the distance between the mounting holes. Right? All small blocks, this is a 0.15 and 0.18, all 3.3s, they have the same holes right here for engine mounts. All big blocks, you can tell, the engine mount holes are way, way larger. We're talking they're not even in the same realm, right? Boosted likes that OS. Yeah, this one is out of my, damn, which one is it? It's from the OFNA Jammin'. It's from the OFNA Jammin'. So when you hear me talk about small block, big block, small block engines only fit cars that small blocks are designed for. Big block engines only fit cars that big block engines are designed for. So generally, anything from 0.21, even the MGT 8.0, it's just a regular big block motor, right? All the mounting is the same. So in general, you could consider all 8th scale Nitro trucks to be big block. That's like a general truth right there. Not 100% of the time, but generally that is the truth. All right, makes sense what I'm saying? So you guys would be surprised when I posted the link to the SH21. A lot of people were asking me, will this fit into an RS4? The answer is no. RS4s use engines of this size, meaning they need the spacing that we have between the screws that we see on the block here. That there is no way without modification. Now, obviously, if you wanted to, you could stick a toothbrush into Austin Powers' mouth. You guys get the joke? Toothbrush, Austin Powers' mouth. What you want is to make sure that if you're getting a big block, you start with a big block. Anytime you do any conversions, and John Hensley here and others could attest to it, you're going to run into situations. All right? That's basically just what's going to happen. So let me pull out, for those of you that missed it, let me back this up. So that buggy is basically done. I just got to, actually test it now. But it's basically done. So there's nothing else I can do with it. So this is the SH engine that our buddy Boosted RC put into a Savage. This is those cheap SH21 engines. Jake's RC, I appreciate that, bro. This is the cheapest of the 0.21s. They're not in stock right now, so don't try to get them. But you can get the bigger 28, but they're all the same. What matters is, once again, there's a couple main factors, right? And if you make a mistake here, you ain't going to fit nothing. Well, fit anything. Let's talk proper English here. Let's speak the Queen's English. Kidding around. So this is the engine that our buddy Boosted RC put into a Savage. This is a regular bottom of the barrel SH21. These are big blocks. And what I'll do now for your viewer pleasure, I will show you, notice the engine mounts on the OS and the SH. Notice those mounts, they're exactly the same. So that is the most important thing. The engine mount holes match. Otherwise, you will not be able to use it. And all basically going to be garbage. Right? Makes sense? All small block engines have completely different lengths also. Another important variable is most big blocks have rear exhaust. They also have usually slide carbs. Make sense? Yeah. John Hensley wants to know, is a JADO difficult to put a big block into? Well, I would say it's not worthwhile doing. It is relatively difficult because Traxxas products, right, they're not designed for engines of this size. It basically comes down to spacing. Now, I have seen big block JADOs, they're very fast. But the truth is, if you tune a regular 3.3 JADO good enough, it's very fast too. That's kind of like the reality. You know, some people, they just like to tinker. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're a tinkerer, then you could pretty much fit a toothbrush into Austin Powers' mouth. But it's always better and easier to use the engines that are designed for the products you're using them in. That's kind of like how it is. Right? Also, I find, and guys, I've had a couple big block T-Maxes big block Revos over the years. In fact, I have two right now. I have two big block Revos right now. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, Big Boys Toys, send a picture, bro. If you send a picture, I will show it right now for us all to see. All right, through the email. Email that bad boy, and I will show everybody, bro. Because you deserve to be noticed like everyone else. But yes, every big block conversion I've ran into, it pretty much was cobbled together garbage. Literally every single time. And that is why those cars were always resold for kind of cheap. People just like to tinker, but the truth is, you need to make every single component perfect. Just the throttle mount alone. Woogie goes, he got one. So Woogie could probably confirm. But Woogie's an expert in this type of stuff. When Woogie big blocks something, it's going to be good, right? But most of the time, when people put engines into cars they don't belong in, it's not going to be good most of the time. You know, plus, you've basically kind of made your bed with those choices. Once you've converted something big block, you've basically modified the chassis in one way or another. So it's kind of difficult to go back without a trace. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're trying to sell that thing later on, you basically have to sell it in that condition. Like, if you remove the big block and you go back to something smaller, you have to go back to stock kind of. It's not very good. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. That's right, Booster goes, you need more than one Jado. Our buddy Woogie has a real proper big block one, by the way. I never owned a big block Jado, but I have friends that did, and I've seen them run. They're very impressive, right? I'll admit it, they're very impressive. But realistically speaking, those guys wind up removing the two-speed, right? They wind up going with a really tall one gear system. So for me, or rather, I'm sorry, they wind up going with a basically it's a gearing nightmare, I will say. Oh, gotta refresh my own stream here. Hold on, guys. Let me go see if I can find another buggy to compare this to, just so we kind of know what is going on. All right. While we wait, I'm going to put down a buggy you guys have probably seen on the channel previously. It's one of the ones I run kind of repeatedly because it's so freaking reliable, this one. Yeah, Rusty Customs goes, nobody sells their big block Jados. Yeah, they're pretty rare. All right, so this is one of my old school OFNA Ultra GT LX, Ultra LX, LX1, I think. Whatever, there's a lot of different names. But this one I've run many times. It's a pretty proper buggy. Do I think it handles better than like the Kyoshos? I don't think so. I'll tell you this, the suspension is just, okay, Big Boys Toys sent a picture. Let me go check it. We got to support our friends. All right, holy moly, this is a proper car. All right, let me do a little zoom in on this to keep the private info out. You see, guys, when you talk to me, you could rest assured I ain't going to try to piss you off. Guaranteed, all right? All right, let's check out our channel members' Kyosho V1R. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen an engine like that in my life. Nova Rossi, tuned, 355, race point 12. Wow. And the really proper on-road air filter. You know, I could appreciate that kind of air filter. Those are real good. Correct shocks. 2-speed looks good. Pipe looks good. Header setup looks real good. We got the proper, correct looking brake linkages. The more modern power switch. That is a proper vehicle. This is a vehicle from God. I like it. Even Terra goes, it's sick. Yep. Real good. These are real proper on-road filters, by the way. Very, very high flow. I don't think they're meant to be oiled. These are not oiled from what I understand, right? All right, let's continue. So, hell yeah to our friend Big Boy's Toys. Let's continue to the 2 buggies. And then I'm going to call it a day, guys. I'm not going to be here forever because I do have a life outside of this. I mean, it's basically the Nitro life, though. But you know what I mean? So, technically, I guess it is the same life. All right. So, this one, it's pretty dope. We got ourselves the Axial engine. This is actually the engine that we talked about earlier that was for sale from Cash for RC. Yeah, this one I've run like a lot, but I'll be honest with you, these buggies are just so much taller, they just don't handle as well as the Kyoshos. These are more, I would say, like an off-road kind of design. The shocks actually half suck also. Dana, how you doing there, Dana, man? Happy to see you here. I'm just, if you were here earlier, we were talking about, and I was installing that OS engine into the Kyosho MP 7.5. Now we're just doing a little convo on the OFNA buggy. So this one is real proper. We got ourselves the Axial 28. Oh, yeah. With, Lasso, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. We got the crazy compression. The last time I ran this, I ran Bones Roof. So this thing never seizes up. This thing is better than Oprah Winfrey ever was. All right, so, you know, the construction on these OFNAs, it's a little more, I would say, kind of toy grade, maybe, in my opinion. Nothing wrong with them, but I do prefer a proper Kyosho. This engine is real good, but these would have, they originally would have had this engine. Generally, pretty much a weird, these are not even correct big block mounts. It's some weird. This is basically a Force 21. Right, this one's in very good shape. Keep it kind of for display purposes. Can't even get correct engine mounts for it. But, yeah, these are the OFNA Ultra MBX or GTLX. They're basically all the same name. These are a little more of the, if you take a look at it, they're like pretty high, tall center of gravity design cars. The shocks, they're all right. Like, I wouldn't say they're that good. But a little bit of the weird kind of design, just the buggies from OFNAs are just from Kyosho, just a little bit cooler in my opinion. So yeah, these engines are pretty good. If you ever get one like an Axial, they're very reliable. All right, that's basically it for this one. I mean, I don't know what else we could talk about really. If you guys have any questions on buggies, I could tell you. Yeah, Nitro Pimp goes, the Hyper 7s are the cheapies, and Hobeo still sells them. That is true. I would honestly pick up the Serpent in modern day buggy world. I would not get the Hyper 7s anymore. The Serpent is a proper chassis. Dude, these bodies like don't freaking fit well. You get the point. It's colorful like the 1980s. All right, bros, I'm going to be here for like 2 more minutes. What's hobbies? How you doing? If you do want to pick up a sickening new buggy, I put a link in the description. You can get it. Let's go see if you guys want me to take a look at the Hobeo website. Hobeo. Hobeo cars. Nitro cars. Let's take it out. I've looked at these sites like a shit ton of time already. All right, Booster, thank you, man. I appreciate that. So if you guys want, I'll take a look at the current buggies from Hobale. This is the American version, so who knows? All right. I mean, they are cheaper. Personally, I like the Serpent way more. All right, so their current cheapest one is $420. It's a Hyper 7 TQ. These are like not really the old school Hyper 7s. I think they're actually the cheaper models. Let's take a look. Ray Coral, bro, I'll talk to you later on. Thank you, man. I'm gonna be here for like 1 more minute, trying to get the the Hobale server to load. Their servers are slower than their customer service. You guys know what I'm talking about? Real slow customer service. All right, so we got the Hyper 7 with the 28 turbo engine. I mean, it's a proper engine. 420. There's like 3 left in stock. I mean, they don't really tell you much info. 2.4 gigahertz turbo plug. These are pretty good engines. I still like the Serpent more. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I just like the Serpent. All right, so what do we got? I mean, it's a pretty proper buggy. I still like the Serpent. I just find these to be kind of high center of gravity design. Maxwell Smart goes hybrid. What is the best tuned pipe for the Savage, for the big block LRP, right? LRP 4.1. Honestly, I'm not into the pipes too much, bro. To be honest with you, like the all tuned pipes are relatively good today. I would say an average okay pipe would be the Dynamite 053. But obviously, once you start getting into like the Paris, the Paris pipes, you start to get into like THS, start getting into anything with Novorossi type stuff. Those are gonna Pico pipes. Those are gonna be your best pipes. But it really with the pipes, it really comes down to how much you want to spend. I don't really get into the pipes too much. There are some YouTubers that are pretty much experts on the pipes, but in my personal opinion, a lot of it comes down to your running conditions. You know what I mean? All right, my dudes. Yeah, Mad Corridor goes, sad the THS is done. Yeah, they're pretty much toast for. But I will say, any pipe that is cooler than this is a better pipe. These are like the bottom of the barrel junk. But if you guys watch my video on this exact buggy, it ran beautiful with it anyway. Maybe I got 96% performance out of it. Who cares? Maybe the other 4%, yeah, you could do better. But the truth is, you could also get that with a better tune, right? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot more factors, in my opinion, than the pipe. Obviously, if you're racing and you're up against people with the same caliber, then it does matter. But this is the bottom of the barrel pipe. And to me, it runs fine. More importantly is you have no leaks, you have good fuel lines, and you have a good fuel tank, right? Yeah, that's right, Rusty. All right, Harlem, man. Thank you, man, so much. And guys, you all have a good night. Tomorrow will likely be a sickening video. You guys take care.